land in Malvana whose ownership was denied by Basil Rajapaksa to be auctioned. Police arrest 1,262 individuals for various offences in a special operation conducted in the Western Province. 46 well-known offenders among those arrested. General Secretary of the SLFP says not to worry about the statement made by the President. Why isn't the law being enacted against the former Central Bank Governor Arjun Mahendran and the bond scam? Questions raised by the Purawasi Balaya. Former Minister of Housing Sirisena Kure speaks out about the Gum at the 100-day initiative.
Hello there, very good evening to you. You're watching us on TV1 and Shakti TV. This is Primetime News. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
Hello there, very good evening. I'm Zola Otsman. Let's start off with a look at top story this evening.
The newly appointed European Union ambassador to Sri Lanka, Tunglai Mag, says that he is happy with the development achieved by the countries with a short span of time. He made this statement after he presented his credentials to President Maithripala Sirisena today.
The newly appointed ambassador of the European Union said that the EU would extend their support to government efforts for reconciliation within the country. The president said that it would largely benefit the garment industry in the country if the country receives GSP Plus concession. The communique issued by the president's media division states that the president extended his gratitude to the new ambassador on the lifting of the ban imposed on Sri Lanka's fisheries.
On a story that made it to the headlines this evening, the Pukoda Magistrates Court today issued an order to auction the contentious land and property in Malvana. Former Minister Basil Rajapaksa earlier informed court that he does not own the said land. Action was filed with respect to the property on the 16-acre plot of land in Gangabada Road, Malvana by the police FCID. Former Minister Basil Rajapaksa was named as an owner of the property and land. However, he informed court that he did not own it at a previous court hearing. Mudita Jakuri was also named as the owner of the land. However, by way of a motion to court, he too informed court that the land was not his.
As an attorney, I am happy because justice has been meted out and my client's request has been met. As a citizen, I am happy because the people's money and the people's property will be returning to the state.
Previously, Thirukumar Nadisan was questioned by the police FCID. In this backdrop, attorneys at law appearing for Basil Rajapaksa informed court that their client has no objection to the property being sold. When the case was taken up today, the contractor of the property requested that the auction not be proceeded with on the basis that his dues had not been paid.
I am the contractor that lodged this complaint with the FCID. I was present when Basil Rajapaksa was first arrested. The FCID told me not to come. It clearly shows that the FCID now stands with the rogues.
A contractor who has never appeared before turned up today and stated that payments have not been made to him and that this should be taken over by the state. If payments have not been made, it is a civil issue. In addition, this document details that all payments have been made.
I challenge anyone. The final check of 11 million rupees was paid through Mudit's account. I have proof.
The Puravasi Ballet movement convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
We understand that the president has issues too. We know about the investigations that are conducted on SLFP members and not on UMP members. There was a huge scam in the central bank. The entire country is aware of it. But up until now, Arjun Mahendran and his son-in-law have not been brought before the law. We saw the effort made by the Prime Minister to safeguard Arjun Mahendran. There is no way these things could take place.
Minister of Justice Vijaydas Rajapaksa said in Parliament that no one can harm the Rajapaksa family as long as he is there. These statements should not be taken lightly. It is strange the way investigations had been conducted into the murder of Tajuddin, disappearances of Eknaligoda and violence towards journalists. I believe that as long as the Minister of Justice is in power, citizens will never have a chance of establishing a decent justice system in the country.
I believe that the chairman of the Bribery Commission has informed the government about her decision to resign from the post. When the head of state says they do not perform their duties properly, they cannot retain in their positions. If there is an issue like that, what the president has to do is conduct investigations on the cases that have not been investigated properly.
What do you have to say about Mahinda Rajapaksa's land being taken over by the state? Isn't this implementation of the law?
Properties should be confiscated. If they have done something wrong, they should be put in prison. There is no second thoughts about that. We are not telling to split into two and create divisions. Please don't misinterpret.
The COPE report on the central bank bond issue has not been released yet, but we saw Minister Kiriella saying that Arjun Mahendra is innocent in this issue. So isn't this exerting influence?
What we believe is that Minister Kiriella acts and makes statements irresponsibly. He talks just for the sake of talking. What I worry about is not Arjun Mahendra's issue. My problem is what will happen to us if these people take a step back. People could be murdered like cats and dogs, and there will be no one to look into it.
When the issue of the former governor of the central bank was brought to you, you voiced your objection and Prime Minister removed him from his position. But when more accusations are levelled against him, all that the Prime Minister says is that more investigation should be conducted.
What we say is that the President should take a decision on this. The Civil Societies Collective convened a media briefing in Colombo today.
We witnessed an episode of a drama today where a group of civil societies were raising some issues with the president as if they were accusing him. Now the problem is, who were these civil societies representing? The central bank bond scam is the biggest fraud that has ever taken place in the history. But when such fraudulent activities are taking place, we invited them to join us in protest. Without joining us, these individuals are reaping the full benefits of the 8th of January victory, and they are earning salaries from the government in a manner which is not immediately visible. We know all that. Moving away from the procedure the current government followed in Basil Rajapaksa's issue, now they have directly moved into a system which hides the fraud and corruption that takes place in the country, which will eventually topple the government. I clearly say that a person can only act in this way only if he has the President's or Prime Minister's blessings. So we request the President to immediately appoint a special Presidential Investigation Commission to look into the bond scam.
ජනාධිපති විමර්ශන කොමිෂන් සභාවක් පත් කළ යුතුමයි. සිවිල් සංවිධාන විදිහට වගකීම වෙන්නේ.
The role of civil societies is not to fan the flames. We still have not been able to achieve a change for the people. Our responsibility is to take the country towards achieving that.
දිනා ගන්න බැරි වෙලා තියෙනවා. අපි මේ ප්‍රතිසංස්කරණ දිනා ගන්න තැනට මෙරට අරන් යන එක තමයි අපේ වගකීම වෙන්න ඕනේ.
ජනාධිපතිවරයා විසින් මේ
If the statement made by the President has angered these people so much, there are plenty of other things that happened over the past 18 months that should have angered them. Why couldn't they raise their voice in this manner against the former central bank governor? This is the best example to point out the deal between them.
ඇයි මහ බැංකුව අධිපතිවරයාට එරෙහිව අවදි නොවුනේ? මේක තමයි මේ අයගේ ඩීල් එක මොකක්ද කියලා ගන්න තියෙන හොඳම නිදර්ශනය. මහ බැංකුවේ සිදුවේ
The central bank bond scam was the biggest act of corruption after independence. Justice should be meted out immediately with regard to this act of corruption that took place under the government of good governance.
තවත් පිරිසකගේ දේශපාලන න්‍යාය පත්‍රයකට මේ සිවිල් සංවිධාන හසු විය යුතු නැහැ.
1,262 persons were arrested on suspicion of various offences in a special police operation carried out last night in the Western Province.
Deputy Inspector General of Police Nandana Murasinghe said 46 of the arrested individuals were registered offenders. 177 persons against whom warrants had been issued, 17 out of this number were once wanted by the police. 540 other individuals were arrested by the police during this operation. Police said that among the arrested group were 2 who have escaped from the prison and 4 who fled the armed forces. 23 were arrested over drug-related offences, while 103 were drunk drivers. A further 323 persons were arrested for reckless driving. 3,072 police officers representing all police stations in the Western Province engaged in this special operation from 11 p.m. yesterday till dawn. A special statue of Mother Mary was brought down to Sri Lanka recently ahead of the Sirasa Christmas zone.
The statue of the Virgin Mary that was blessed by Pope Francis himself in the Vatican was brought down to Sri Lanka recently. Today the statue was taken to the Archbishop's house by officials of the Capital Maharaja organization. The special statue of Mother Mary will remain in the custody of His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjit at the Cardinal's Chapel until the 20th of this month.
I attended the Sirasa Christmas Zone last year as well, and it was organized very well. I was overjoyed when I was able to also meet with a group of children who were receiving treatment at the cancer hospital and their parents. We thank the Maharaja organization and the Sirasa Media Network for organizing this zone once again this year. I was also handed over a special statue of Mother Mary, which was blessed by the Pope and brought down from the Vatican. On the day, we will take the statue to the zone in a special procession.
එදාට අපි විශේෂාකාරයෙන් ගෞරවයට පාත්‍ර කරන්නට බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
Well, now following a special mass on the 20th of December, the statue of Mother Mary that was blessed by Pope Francis will be placed at the Sirasa Christmas Zone from the 20th till the 23rd of December for the public to pay homage.
සිරසගම් මැද්දේ පහතුන් අපි කියා සිටින්නේ අපට වතුර ටිකක් තින්න කියලා. අපි වෙන දේවල් ඉල්ලන්නේ නැහැ.
In just 24 hours.
අපිට හැකි උපරිමයෙන්ම කරන්න අපි මෙතන පොරොන්දු
Well, that was how we immediately responded to the plea of the people of the Arura village in Balapitia. Under the government, the 100-day initiative, these people were able to realize their dream of quenching their thirst with clean water.
The Gammadda 100-day initiative. With the people, for the people.
The residents of the Aurora village of the Balapitia Divisional Secretariat and a few villages in the vicinity have been suffering from a lack of drinking water for a prolonged period of time. These people who live in the gruesome memories of being battered by a tsunami were consoled today thanks to the generous contributions of fellow Sri Lankans. We are thankful to the Sirasa Media Network. When projects like this are initiated, it sets a good example. People who govern this country conduct development projects all around the country. The way I see it, first you must identify the problem, then a plan must be formulated to solve the issue. Afterwards, the plan must be implemented. Problems remain to exist because they are never identified. We are thankful to you for initiating such projects. With the support of Brandix and the Sri Lanka Navy, this project will be vested in the public in a few short days.
Not just 100 days. Increase it by another 100 days and please come back and resolve our problem. අපි අපේ හෘදයාංගන ස්තුතිය ඔබ ආයතනයට
The Gammadda 100-day initiative also commenced a water project in Padikar Madua. In Padikar Madua, the National Lotteries Board joined hands with Newsfirst to ensure the successful completion of this project.
අපිටත් ගොඩක් සතුටු දවසක් අද මොකද මේ වගේ ගම්මානයකට ඇවිල්ලා
We are happy to join hands with the Sirasa Media organization and sponsor a project to provide water for this village.
එකතු වෙලා අපිටත් එහි අනුග්‍රහගත ලබා ගැනීමට හැකියීම සම්බන්ධයෙන්
දෙනාම මේ ව්‍යාපෘතිය සිදු කරන්නේ සත්භාවයෙන් මේ ව්‍යාපෘතිය කරන්නේ
We are undertaking this project for your benefit. Even after the completion of this project, we won't stop here. We will continue to be with you through the Gammadda Saviya.
ඔගොල්ලොත් එක්කමයි අපි ඉන්නේ. Gammadda Saviya වැඩසටහනේ යටතේත් අපි ඔයගොල්ලොත් එක්ක සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න ඉන්නවා.
The Gammadda 100-day initiative. With the people, for the people.
The inauguration of the 110th annual sessions of the Institution of Engineers was held in BMICH Colombo this morning. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, Minister of Megapolis and Western Development, Patali Champika Ranavaka, praised the event.
We are finalizing the discussions and we hope by the next month or so, we will have over $1 billion available in our reserves, reducing our debt. Because we have asked for upfront payment, certainly the port is going to be over $1 billion and the Mattala airport will be another few hundred millions. So that is all money that is coming into our reserves to strengthen us at a time when the global economy is weak. But we should also develop our own engineering talents and our own way of grading them and certifying them. It's much needed piece of legislation as we go in for a number of free trade and economic agreements with China, with India, with Singapore and others. Our engineers should not be placed at a disadvantage or as second class. The next,
we have set our economic development vision towards becoming a high-income development nation by 2030. There is a vital structural transformation that our country needs to undergo for realization of our long-term development goals. That is to build a knowledge-based, innovation-driven economy with strong, advanced technology-led components in our exports, both high-tech goods and services.
Onto a developing story now, with Cold War-like tensions rising between Russia and the West, with Syria at the focal point. Russia has announced plans to establish a permanent naval facility in the Syrian port of Tartus. Amid fears that Syria will be the tinderbox that quick starts another global conflict, the Syrian government has launched another push to regain the rebel-held city of Aleppo.
According to international media reports, Syria's military backed by Russian warplanes had killed more than 150 people in eastern Aleppo this week in support of its offensive against the city. Rising casualties in Aleppo, where many buildings have been reduced to rubble or are lacking roofs or walls, have prompted an international outcry and a renewed diplomatic push, with talks between the United States and Russia planned for Saturday.
I want to underline that Russian aviation are delivering pinpoint strikes at previously determined targets outside the city of Aleppo and outside residential areas. Any targets in the list located in residential zones, near schools, hospitals, markets, mosques and other important social facilities where there could be civilians are excluded.
As tensions between the West and Russia continues to rise over the Syrian conflict, in the latest development, the Russian Foreign Ministry announced that it was the Obama administration that has destroyed relations between both countries. They even said that they hope for better relations with whoever is elected to office after November.
Syrian President Bashar al-Assad, speaking to the media, has said that Syria's civil war had become a conflict between Russia and the West.
Say what we have now, what we've been seeing recently during the last few weeks and maybe few months, is something like a more than Cold War, less than war, a full-blown war. I don't know what to call it, but it's not something that has existed recently, because I don't think that the West, and especially the United States, has stopped their Cold War even after the collapse of the Soviet Union.
Meanwhile, President Vladimir Putin has stated that US election candidates are using Russia to gain political mileage.
We are also concerned about the worsening of relations between Russia and the US. This is not our choice. We have never aspired to this. Quite the opposite. We want friendly relations. About a decade ago, they wouldn't mention Russia at all. They would say it's not even worth talking about Russia because it is such a third-rate regional power and not interesting at all. Now Russia is problem number one in the entire election campaign. All they do is keep talking about us. Of course, it's pleasant for us, but only partly. Why partly? Because all participants of this process are misusing anti-Russian rhetoric and poisoning our bilateral relations. This isn't good, both for our country and the whole international community.
Союзники, в том числе, конечно, европейские.
Bringing you the latest developments from Moscow, Russia, I'm Zulfikar Farzan for Newsfirst.
Back to Sri Lanka, Minister of Housing and Construction Sajith Premadasa said that certain groups are attempting to create a rift between the President and the Prime Minister. The Minister expressed these views during an event held in Ambalanthura today.
The two-storied building was declared open under the auspices of Minister of Housing and Construction Sajith Premadasa at the Ambalanthura Al-Akbar Muslim School under the concept of Langama Pasala Hundam Pasala. The project was completed at a cost of 22.6 million rupees. The joint hypocrisy gang saw a daydream today. This daydream is to alienate the bond between the President and the Prime Minister, to somehow create a rift between the two in order to break down the current government and sneak in through the back door and obtain power. They say the President has rebuked the Prime Minister. The same people who accuse are the ones who demolished this ministry before. I would like to request everyone not to fall victim to the lies of these individuals who defrauded state funds and had multiple passports instead of one.
The statement made by the President recently has sparked a heated debate in the political arena.
Reporters questioned on this matter during an event which was held at the Agriculture Research Facility in Kundasale.
What do you think of the President's statement? Is there tension within the government? They say the Prime Minister and the President has had a falling out.
There is no dispute. I believe that the people will be able to see the result of the statement made by the President in the coming days. There is no need to misunderstand the statement. The President has not mentioned anywhere to stop catching thieves or stop investigations. The President will not, under any circumstance, save a miscreant. We cannot do that since we have stood all together with the people for this problem. This is what the people requested when they elected Maithripala Sirisena as the President. Hence, we cannot stray from this matter. We cannot remove ourselves from this. The President has a right to speak on this matter if he identifies any problem present in the methods used.
A group of politicians have currently moved slightly away from their political activities and are spending time at the prison hospital.
Parliamentarian Duminda Silva, who is serving a death sentence, is receiving treatment at the prison hospital after he contracted a viral flu. Other politicians receiving treatment at the prison hospital include Sarath Weerawansa, brother of Parliamentarian Wimal Weerawansa, and Parliamentarian Jayantha Samaraweera. Sources at the prison hospital said that they were admitted over a diabetic condition. Sources also confirmed that Chanuka Ratwatha, brother of Parliamentarian Lohan Ratwatha, is also due to be subject to a medical test. When inquired, Chief Physician of the prison's hospital, Dr. Lakshman Jayamana, said that any prisoner can be admitted to the prison hospital when they are physically unfit. He added that a prisoner can be admitted to a private hospital only if court has issued an order in this regard.
The Gampaha Magistrate Court stated today that the death of 3 individuals following the Ratapaswala protest in 2013 constituted a crime.
On the 1st of August in 2013, protesters staged a demonstration in a number of locations, including the Balum Mahara Junction, demanding that clean drinking water be provided. The protest continued defying police orders. At 4:40 p.m. on that fateful day, steps were taken to disperse the protesters. When the case was taken up before Chief Magistrate of Gampaha Kavinda Nanayakara today, the judge determined that the 2 individuals had died as a result of being shot. The magistrate also stated that another person had died after being assaulted by a blunt object. The CID informed court that 98 T-56 rifles had been sent to the government analyst, while 42 other firearms have also been sent to the government analyst for investigations.
A group of people who gathered to help an elephant kafu fell into an open well in the Madagam area in Kakirawa faced an unexpected situation when another wild elephant arrived at the scene.
This baby elephant had fallen into the D5 canal. Wildlife officials, civil defense officers and residents of the area managed to rescue the baby elephant with great difficulty. Meanwhile, another wild elephant who was in the area chased after a 3-wheeler heading towards the D5 canal and also damaged the Newsfirst correspondent's motorbike.
The closing session of the World Export Development Forum 2016 was held in Colombo yesterday.
The forum, which commenced on the 12th of this month, was graced by President Maithripala Sirisena, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe and several other international dignitaries. Several topics including the importance of trade agreements to make Sri Lanka's exports competitive and secure better market access, small and medium-scale enterprises, connectivity and competitiveness were discussed throughout the forum.
We understand better how using e-commerce and digital solutions can unlock greater opportunities and access new markets around the world. We've also talked about how investing in women and youth to become valuable actors in international trade can contribute to more inclusive growth. And we have, I think, a better understanding of this landscape of mega regional trade agreements and how they should synergize with the multilateral trading system. I think it's also fair that in doing so, the business sector in Sri Lanka, the government of Sri Lanka have shown an amazing level of collaboration that I think is very interesting model. It's a very interesting model for any country that wants to succeed in international trade.
A question and answer session was also held at the closing ceremony of the World Export Development Forum 2016.
As you said earlier, we are trying to put the system right. We are coming with our trade policy in a few months' time. We are working on that with a couple of Harvard professors and with our professors as well. And then we are working on the ease of doing business. Our target is to increase our exports from 11 billion to at least about 16 billion. Then end of 2018 to take it up to about 20 billion. And end of 19 about 30 billion.
As days take to host one of the most glamorous pageants in the world. Today too, the contestants of Miss Intercontinental 2016 arrived at the resplendent Stein Studios in Ratmalana. This is the first time that a reputed global pageant is being held in Sri Lanka and the first time in 20 years that a major pageant will be held in South Asia.
The Miss Intercontinental 2016, we are in Stein Studio, and thank you Stein Studio for this beautiful and this very good place.
I'm so excited. The finals are in 2 days and the adrenaline level is getting higher.
Namaste, I'm here at Stein Studios and it's our third day of rehearsals. Do not forget to watch our show on the 16th of October. Thank you.
Representing England for the 45th Miss Intercontinental pageant, which is going to be here on the 16th of October at Stein Studios. I'm super excited to be here at Stein Studios.
Contestants took part in rehearsals and went in rounds in preparation for the grand finale, which will be held on the 16th of October at Stein Studios in Ratmalana. Today too, our cameras captured the manner in which choreographers put in their best to ensure that the contestants walk down the ramp with full energy and beauty to clinch the title as Miss Intercontinental 2016. The grand finale will also feature international entertainers such as Argentine singer, composer and actor Patricia Arellano as well as Apache Indian.
Hello, my name is Thorsten and I'm in charge of the show here for the Miss Intercontinental Contest 2016, held here at Stein Studios in Colombo. And we are really looking forward to a very, very big show. 2 days to go. And we are all excited about what's going on and who will be the winner finally on Sunday night. So please keep posted for this big event here in Colombo.
MTV and MBC are the exclusive electronic media partners of the glamorous pageant.
Well, with that, we wrap up Primetime News at 9. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
I'm Joel Artsgoon. Take care. Good night.